In today's video, I want to talk to you all about the costs of getting scalp micropigmentation. My name is Will Quay. I'm a clinical trichologist and specialist scalp micropigmentation artist, helping you guys that are struggling with hair loss. So the cost of scalp micropigmentation all around the world is going to vary a hell of a lot. Now, I'm going to sort of just mainly talk about the UK and in particular London and the surrounding areas because that's where I'm from. So in general, the cost of scalp micropigmentation can vary for numerous reasons. Reasons such as clinic reputation, the experience of the artist that's actually going to do the work, the extent of the hair loss, the number of sessions required, and also what treatment you're actually going to do, whether it's a top of head treatment, density treatment, scar camouflage, alopecia treatment. You know, there's a few treatments that we do with scalp micropigmentation. So based on what exactly you're after will dictate the cost involved in getting that procedure done for you. So you've obviously found this video because you're either Googling or typing in some sort of search engine, what is the cost of scalp micropigmentation? Now, the long and short of it is the cost is going to vary like so much up and down the country. You know, you could probably get a full, let's just say, top of head treatment. And when I say top of head treatment, I mean when you've got hair on the back and sides of your scalp but nothing on the top and you want that done. So you want your crown done with a hairline. You could probably pay as little as £1,000, £1,200 for a full treatment somewhere. But on the other end of the scale, you could probably pay up to £4,500, £5,000 for that treatment. That's not to say that the artist doing it for £1,200 is terrible, and that's not to say that the artist doing it for the top money is terrible or good. But usually you pay for what you get for. Now, there's going to be a lot of different reasons for the cost difference. It could be location, it could be how busy the artist is, it could be how skilled the artist is, and that's usually the case. And I think as well, it's like, in particular for us, I can't talk for other people, but our price is based on what we feel is a fair exchange for what we offer, for the quality of work that we do and the experience that we have in this field. So like I said, I can't speak for others, their reasons for their costings and why they charge certain amounts as opposed to others. But what I will say is, you as a consumer, as a client, as a potential client or someone that's had this done, if it was me, price wouldn't be the #1 driving factor to get this done. But as we're doing a video all about prices, I'm going to tell you what the prices are. Now, I can't speak for others, but I'll let you know roughly what we charge today. That's in 2025, just so you get an idea of, you know, how much it's roughly going to cost you based on your situation. With all that being said, the best way to get a cost in, best way to get a price is to book in for a free consultation. We can go over everything with a fine-tooth comb and give you a personalised quotation based on yourself. But I'm not going to do one of these videos where, you know, you don't actually get the answer. You are going to get your answers in today's video, so stick around and we'll go through it one by one. I'm just gonna go through our website because, you know, again, I'm saying this again, please don't shoot me down. I'm just talking about us and what we provide. At the very top would be our top of head treatment. Now, we base this kind of procedure based on the amount of hair loss that you're suffering with. Now, we will take that from a Norwood 3 to a Norwood 7. So we'll class anyone in that area from a Norwood 3 type hair loss to a Norwood 7 would class as a top of head treatment. If you're not sure what the Norwood scale is and where you fit on the Norwood scale, stay tuned to the channel because I have a video coming out in maybe a week or two explaining exactly what the Norwood scale is and how you can sort of place yourself where, you know, where you are on the scale to give you an idea. But essentially, top of head will be any amount of hair loss from the hairline, the temples, the crown, the top of the head. When you start to see that area disappear, that would be classed as a top of head treatment. And currently in 2025, our top of head treatments range from $2,550 to $3,150. Now, you may be asking, how do I know if I'm a $2,550 client or a $3,150 client? Now, that unfortunately, you will have to book in for a consultation so I can really go through all the details and see exactly where you fit. But essentially, anywhere between a Norwood 3 and a Norwood 7, you're going to fall somewhere in that area. Now let me explain. So let's assume you're a Norwood 4 to 5, you know, your temples have started to recede quite a fair amount, you've got a real visible bald patch on your crown, but you've got a little bit of hair sort of separating the crown and the front of the hairline and temple. Then let's call that player A. Player B has got a complete Norwood 7, complete hair loss on the top of the scalp. Now, in some cases, not all, Norwood 4-5 player A would be just the same amount of work as player B, Norwood 7, because Norwood 7, although I've got a clear run to do the job, so I've got nothing in my way, there is more impressions to be done. Norwood 4 and 5, although there's less impressions to be done, I've now got a lot more blending to do. I've not just got the blending in the sides and the back, I've got blending into your actual hair that's on the top of your scalp, you know, fading into the bit. Sometimes you get like a real severe bit of crown fading, and then you get another band of fading on the crown, which is not quite as much as the center part. So we've got to do, you know, a different kind of blending to make everything look as even as possible. Now, that can take just as long as doing a Norwood 7. So this is why I say, you know, let's have a consultation and I can really see where you fit. If it genuinely is just a small amount with minimal blending, then you'd be on the lower end. But, you know, probably expect to pay somewhere on the higher end if you're a Norwood 7, or, you know, there's a lot of blending to be done. Now, I'm not expecting you to know if there's a lot of blending to be done, so therefore book into a consultation and we'll have an informal chat and just go for it all. So then we move on to a top of head plus scar camouflage. Now, obviously, if we're doing your scar camouflage at the same time as doing your top of head, it's going to work out a lot cheaper than if you used to book your top of head treatment, say, in 2025 and then do your scar camouflage in 2026. If it's something that you think you might want to get done, I would get it done at the same time because you're going to save yourself a lot of money. So currently, our prices for top of head plus scar camouflage done at the same time, you'd be looking at £2,850 to £3,350. If you've had a hair transplant or you're not experiencing, well, you would have been experiencing hair loss, because in order to get the scars on the back of your scalp, you would have had a hair transplant, therefore leaving you with scarring on the back of the scalp. Now, if the hair transplant was successful in you don't need scalp micropigmentation to the top of the head and you just want your scars camouflage, we can do that as a separate treatment. But like I said previously, if you feel your hair's thinning at the top and you want SMP done on the top and the scars, get them done at the same time because it's going to work out a lot cheaper. You'll see why in a second. So if you're going to get scar camouflage, you're not going to get the top of your scalp done. You'd be looking anywhere from $1,750 to $2,450, and that will get you your scar camouflage completely done. So as you can imagine, if you was to add that to your top of head price and get that done at a later date, it's going to work out a lot more money than if you used to get it done at the same time. Next up, we have our density treatments. Now, again, you're going to need a consultation to know exactly a personalised price for you, but you'd be looking anywhere between $2,550 to $3,350 to get this treatment done. Although you may feel like you've got hair on the top of your scalp, so you may not need as much as, let's say, for example, a Norwood 7 guy who's got zero hair on the top, just on the back and the sides hair. You're probably mistaken, because a density treatment, they're actually really tough because we're having to work through the hair. Now, that's a lot harder than working on a blank canvas. Now, in an ideal world, even if you are wanting to keep your hair long, I would recommend shaving it down for the treatment. Then we can do almost like a full top of head treatment, and then you can just grow your hair back. But if we are going to work in between your hairs, it is quite a tricky treatment. It can be done, and based on your situation, on what I feel is going to be right. I'm not just going to do a density treatment on you if I feel like you're not going to get the result that you think you may get. I'm going to control your expectations. Now, if you've got a complete severe thinning on the crown, but you've got a fair amount of hair everywhere else and you want a density treatment, in my humble opinion, I don't think that's going to be the right treatment for you, because you're not going to get the results you're after, i.e. full density. Now, if you've got a diffuse thinning all over the scalp, this would be the treatment for you. I would still advise shaving it down for the treatment. You don't have to, it's just my advice. But if you did decide to shave it down in the future, you know the SMP is going to be A1 and you can shave it down, grow it up, do whatever you like. That being said, we still can do it through hair. We definitely can still do it through hair. I have clients that we do that through, but it's important for me to just tell you exactly the situation, because some people may just go, yeah, we can do it, it's no problem, yeah, that's all right, we can make it look darker, it'll look a lot better, look a lot more fuller. But they're not telling you the full story. The full story is, if you used to go shave that in 5 years, 10 years time, it's gonna be a mess under there. I don't want that. You don't want that, so let's just lay our cards on the table from the get-go, and then you can make a decision. If you think, do you know what, Will, I'm not going to shave my hair in 5 or 7 years time, thank you for telling me, thank you for arming me with that information, I appreciate it, but I still want to keep my hair long, can you please do it through my long hair? Yes, I can, but I feel better that I've told you everything, and there's complete transparency throughout the whole procedure. And lastly, we have alopecia treatments. So we work with alopecia areata, totalis, universalis. Unfortunately, I can't really price that because it's really different in every individual's case, so you will have to book in, speak to me on a consultation, but I will get to the bottom of it for you and help you out the best we can. So currently our top-up prices for our existing clients are £450. That's for a normal top of head treatment, so they start at £450. If you was a client that has had scar camouflage and top of head, it may be a little bit more, but essentially it's 50% discount on your original treatment cost. So we do like to take care of our existing clients, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. And the feelings, there's a trust thing there. So I appreciate you guys for trusting me doing your treatment, and so it's just my way of saying thanks and keeping you happy long term. Now, for you guys that are not my existing clients, why not? You should have been, you know what I mean? But you're not, fair enough, you made a mistake, and now you want to come over to the good boys. That's cool, but unfortunately, you will pay a little bit more just to get in the door. Not more than what an original treatment was, but in respect to my existing client, they're going to get preferential rates. But I'm happy to take you guys on board. And once you've had your original treatment with me, you're now an existing client, part of the team, and you'll get your discounted rates going forward. Hope that makes sense. So that was me baffling on a little bit about costs, mainly about our costs, but I wanted to do this video to be a little bit more transparent and just tell you exactly what the costs are. There's videos out there that go, oh, costs will depend on the amount of hair loss, which they're not wrong, it does, but you probably want some hard figures. So I hope this video gives that for you. If we fall in the area of affordability for you, and you like what we do and you like our work, please book in a consultation with me. I'm more than happy to have a chat and get you sorted, not a problem. But if there's any more information you require, please drop them in the comments below. You can find all our details on www.scalpnation.co.uk. See you on the next one.